Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Price List Update Summary video series brought to you by Actionable Insights. You've got Harrison here and you've got Whatley there. We're here to talk about the new line items and changes to existing line items to the Xactimate price list in November 2022. We made it to November, Whatley. We're here. Last month, October 24th, was the biggest launch we've had at Actionable Insights. If you follow us, you've heard about it, but if you don't know about it, we're talking about the Actionable Xactimate profile. This is a profile in Xactimate that you would use to, when you start a new estimate, you choose what profile do I want to work in. You work in the Actionable profile. And what do you get? You get this live inspection engine. We'll bring up the engine right here for you to see it, with a little drawer right here on the right-hand side while you're writing your estimate. And in this drawer is live estimating guidance. It's going to react to your scope while you write it. It's going to catch overages. If you make a mistake or use line items that shouldn't be used together, we'll remind you. It's also going to look for omissions based on the scope that you're writing. What did you potentially miss? What line items should you potentially include before you finish that scope and submit it to carrier, policyholder, contractor, or like? So big deal. Whatley, that's been a huge project for us. Launch went amazingly well. Thank you for everybody who supported us along the way. Thank you to all the users in the closed beta who beat this thing up over the last 6 to 9 months so that we could get it in a place where it's ready for everybody.
Yeah, and I think some of the complaints we've had about this series that typically takes us about 15 minutes to get through the price list update summaries is it's long, and I just want to get to the point. And some of you folks are really busy, and you don't want to watch this whole video. So here's the cool news. Before we started this video, Harrison went and wrote the rules relative to the update in the price list. So you can tune out now and just buy the profile, and then you won't forget any warranted line items and any updates to the price list that would create additional scenarios where there's mutually exclusive line items. That is now contemplated in the artificial intelligence of the actionable build. Done deal.
When new line items come up, we write rules to help remind you that they exist. So now we do promise a video series. Let's get into the video series. Whatley, let's take a look at the 12 new line items that were added to the Xactimate price list in November of 2022. They're all in the same category, CLN clean. They all have BFLV at the front of them as the selector codes. What are we talking about? Louvered doors, cleaning half louvered doors, cleaning full louvered doors. Every version of it, light cleaning, heavy cleaning, normal cleaning. You got your half louvered, bifold. By the way, these are all bifold, half louvered or full louvered doors. Nothing like crazy to jump into on the details. They're pretty straightforward. There's a louvered door. Yep. Would be a half louvered door, full louvered door, and you're cleaning it. So,
but it does. They wanted to contemplate a lot of the extra effort that's required to clean a louvered door versus just a straight door slab. Right.
I love louvered doors. I do not like cleaning louvered doors. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So 12 new line items added to the price list this month, cleaning your louvered, full or half louvered bifold doors. All right, let's jump now to existing line items. Not only does Xactimate add new line items every month, they also adjust the existing line items. I'm going to widen up the recording here, to be inclusive of 2 ESXs. On the left-hand side, we're going to have last month, October 22. On the right-hand side, we will have this month, November 22. So let's take a look at changes to existing line items this month. Yield and supporting event adjustments. Yield meaning productivity. Whenever you change the productivity of a line item, the price ends up changing as well. These clean door bifold sets were all adjusted in the slightest way. In fact, if you go and dive into the details here, going to the unit price, the I for information, and taking a look, we're actually going to look at the material yields here because you'll see it changed from 40 to 50. So essentially, the yield went up for a line item or for a component in that line item. Whenever yields go up, the price goes down slightly. Whatley, we're talking, it was $23.65 in San Diego last month. It's now $23.67.
Yeah. So I think it reads like you could do 50 square feet before, and now you could do what the yields went up, right?
Yes.
The yield went up, price went down. So you could do 40 square feet before, and now you can do 50.
Sorry, yields went up, but price went up. And I'm
yields
going to
went up because it means the material's going farther. So this notion of like, as the yield goes up and the price goes down, this applies very acutely for labor, but some of the material line items, the way they work, it actually works in the inverse. And this is an example of that. So as the yield went up, it's saying you could cover 50 square feet with, say, what is probably a gallon of the general
Yes.
purpose chemical cleaner. Therefore, the price went down in this particular case.
In general, I will say the price actually went up by 2 pennies. The other thing I was looking at while you were talking here is the cleaning technician labor went up. So the actual component price for the per unit cleaning labor used to be 56.25. Now it's 56.58. So the labor also just went up as reported in the price list. So that's the major contributor to the pricing of this line item actually going up, is updating in line with labor costs. All right. Again, nothing crazy. We're cleaning bifold doors.
Yeah.
What do we see often, Whatley, when they release a new array of line items around a particular topic? They look at the existing line items in the price list related to that topic and will make minor tweaks as they determine what was fair and reasonable, or what is the reported productivity or cost of any particular activity now in today's environment. Okay, jumping down here to additional item information changes. I actually like what they did here. There are 5 different line items around vinyl floor covering sheet goods. Standard grade, normal, economy grade, high grade, premium grade. What they've done, I'm going to come to the item image and actually click on the additional item information. And I'm going to highlight the quality field here, because what they've done is in October, last month, the quality section said sheet goods, non-inlaid vinyl with soft finish and moderate thickness. Now there's more words. It says average grade sheet goods, non-inlaid vinyl, will likely have felt backing approximately 2 millimeters thick. And then due to the wide variety of vinyl sheet goods available, thickness and style may not be an adequate indicator in quality. Estimators are encouraged to verify quality and cost with local suppliers and contractors. Okay, so that's interesting. Will likely have felt backing, 2 millimeter thickness. Let's jump to high grade quickly to show the difference between normal and high grade descriptions here. It says may have padded backing layer and textured finish, 2.5 millimeters or more thick. So this is great. I mean, to help clarify the intention of a line item in the additional item information where everybody can see it, adjuster, contractor, and alike, is a good move to just clarify, hey, this is what this line item is intended to cover, but we understand situations different on every loss. So we're encouraging you to verify local prices, local quality, and alike in order to properly restore the home and reimburse the policyholder. So yeah, pretty straightforward, but I think very, very a good, solid
I think
change.
it relates to like the add 4 line items within the FCV category, where you can add felt or you can add underlayment. And so this was probably done to clarify that a lot of these, this was never done wrong at the outset. So it should be said that a lot of the flooring that you can buy today, engineered wood flooring or snap lock and in vinyl sheet goods, it did not come 10 years ago with any underlayment at all. That was like a separate building component. Those line items still exist. And so what the pricing department is doing is they're tracking how this building material from a manufacturer perspective is evolving to now also include underlayment components, which is becoming more and more customary. So this is likely helpful. It's definitely a carrier centric move to update this additional item information. So having read this, I think that it's perhaps harder to justify the warranted inclusion of like a felt underlayment under this vinyl flooring.
It's not saying that the underlayment itself is included. It's just trying to describe the grade in what this typical grade will have this kind of backing, this kind of underlayment, right? It doesn't say includes.
Yeah, because if you're going to do like a sound crack membrane for like acoustic, if you're in like a high rise, right, you need to be thoughtful about the acoustic aspects of what flooring you're going to put in. That's going to be a separate 40 millimeter like underlayment that would be warranted by code, etc. But this is just going to include something.
Looking at the premium grade here is interesting, right? It all includes the same vinyl floor covering, adhesive, patching compound, and installation labor. I'll move this up a little bit. What is it? What is the quality? These are premium grade sheet goods. Usually has urethane or enhanced urethane finish, padded layers / cushion backing, maybe textured or embossed. So it's not saying it's inclusive of those materials. It's just saying, hey, this is the quality that we're looking for this type of vinyl sheet goods. Yep. So carrier centric or not, I think it's more around just clarifying, hey, if you're looking at a vinyl sheet goods, here is a better explanation of what these line items are intended to address in that particular material. Okay, next, clean furnace forced air and the furnace or AC check, clean, replace filters and service line item. Okay, I know, Whatley, we've got rules in our profile around furnace or AC check, clean, replace filters and service. So I was interested to see what changes are coming, because anytime a line item changes that we have rules in our profile, well, guess what? We've got a lot of work to do to update those rules to make sure they match the newest intentions of the price list and those line items. So these line items were changed in the additional item information here. I'm actually going to start with CLNFRFA, because at the very bottom here, there's a note. And in October last month, the note just said, if extra cleaning or services is needed, refer to these items, HVCFRCLN or alike, there. So they were pointing to HVCFRCLN last month. Now they're saying, if cleaning and servicing is needed, refer to these items. The CLNFRFA and HVCFRCLN items may overlap, and therefore both items may not be applicable within an estimate.
Yeah,
that's an interesting dance. So
yeah, it is. And so now there'll be a rule next month in the actionable profile that will highlight the fact that those are mutually exclusive. But I just can't understand the scenario where likely this is contractors, right, including both of those line items, because they're so inherently mutually exclusive to me. Clean furnace
with forced air,
and then furnace or AC check, clean and replace filters. Like, no kidding. It's got the clean in there, but whatever. So
there is definitely overlap between these two line items.
Yeah.
So it's good to call out in the additional item information. If you need cleaning or servicing, look at these line items.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyhow, we'll write a rule. These two are mutually exclusive. Figure it out. Pick one, not both.
Pretty much. Okay. There are two HVCRAP line items for house wrap. One is in the insulation category. One is in the siding category.
Yeah.
Both of these have had updates to their additional item information that basically just says, what is the labor type? In insulation category, the labor type is an insulation installer. In siding, the labor is a siding installer. So depending on what the loss looks like, what the job looks like, what trade is performing that particular activity, two different line items to denote two different types of labors that could perform that activity. All right, Whatley, here's my favorite change of the month, right? We talk about big stuff. We've got a bread slicer here, and I want to specifically read the change. It says for the bread slicer line item, they modified the remove definition to reference that the item is for removing a bread slicer. So every now and then I got to look at like, okay, I've never seen the bread slicer line item. If anybody's ever used the bread slicer 24-inch line item, please let me know in the comments below. That would be
nobody's going to comment.
Amazing. I would love to hear about your bread slicer loss, honestly. Apparently in last month, this line item said labor cost to remove a glazier table. Now it says labor cost to remove a bread slicer. So sometimes things fall through the cracks like glaziers and bread slicers, but not this month. They got
resolved,
hunted down and fixed. All right. Now, the nice thing at the pricing department is that every time a new price list comes out, they do give us a little preview of potential future add-ons. What should we expect in December and moving into 2023? 3 items on the future list this month. We've seen installing fencing in cold weather or difficult areas before, so they're continuing to work on that. Items for microwave drawers. So we should see some developments there in the coming months. And new items or quality update in existing items to account for sensor faucets. That's an interesting one to me. Sensor faucets, something that after our kitchen remodel last year, is something that we installed in our house. So I could see them becoming more prevalent in the industry. And for the price list not to have something that adequately addresses sensor faucets, it's probably a good time to look at it and make sure that there is something in there that allows contractors and adjusters to include those in their scopes. So that's great. Well, that's it. That's what we got for November. 12 new line items, a list of changes to existing line items with some exciting updates in the future coming. As the holiday season continues, we never know what's coming. Hopefully December will leave us with some good line items to cap off the year. I think 2022 has been a really good year for the price list and really clarifying big things adding new line items that didn't exist before. Anything else you got for the people out there?
How are you pricing the profile for the first month? The actionable profile.
Good question. If you want access to the actionable profile with our live estimating guidance inside of Xactimate, it's $1.62 per person per month to start. It's normally $162 per license. We sign up your entire company and everybody gets the profile. But for the first month, it's 99% off. We're looking at it like a try before you buy. Get in there for $1 per person, check it out, and see what can the profile do for my estimates in my company. You don't like it, then we won't see you the second month. You love it, we can't wait to work with you. It's that
How
simple.
long is it going to be like that?
Right now, I don't think we have a time limit on it right now. It's coming out of the launch. We were like, hey, let's try this 99% try before you buy plan, 99% discount, but I don't see it lasting too far into 2023.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, keep up the good work, man. And,
Thank you.
I'll see you next month.
Yeah. To all the contractors, adjusters, and insiders out there watching, good luck settling those claims out there.
Keep building.